about your first experience. You said you went to First Choice as a patient.
Yes.
Right?
When I think it was in the probably 70s when I first had my first appointment. I think it was for my daughter. She was probably about 5 or 6 years old. She's now in her 40s. And I took her for an appointment at the first, well, it was at that time, it was called Centro Familiar, and it was in the North Valley on Los Gregos. It used to be at a clinic. The clinic was at an old dance hall that was in the North Valley of Albuquerque. And I was really impressed with the way the nurse practitioner, because the nurse practitioner treated my daughter. It was just, she explained a lot of reasoning behind the treatment. She was very kind. She wasn't in a rush. She just took a lot of time with us. And I know at that time that the nurse practitioners were the ones that were doing a lot of the work at Centro Familiar. It was at that time also that I decided that I would one day want to become a nurse practitioner. I wasn't a nurse then. I was a secretary at that time for the mental health center. And but I was impressed with the kindness of the lady. I wish I knew her name. I would give her credit, but I don't remember her name. And it was very nice to go to that clinic because I was a single mom at that time. I was on, my budget was very low. I wasn't making very much money, and it was just a good, comfortable place. It was an old building, but it was a familiar building, and it was there were a lot of people there from the community, and so it was very comfortable. And then years go by, and I go to nursing school, and I eventually went to become a nurse practitioner and I graduated from UNM. And my first job was at First Choice in the North Valley, which was a new building, a fairly new building. And I had been hired there as my first job. Well, initially I was hired by Dr. Sava at UNM. I was going to be hired at UNM, but the building had not been built yet, so I went to First Choice and was hired there as a nurse practitioner. And I worked there from 1996 to 2001.
What was it like back in the 96, the late part of the 90s?
Well, at the first part of 1996, we still had not gone to the HMOs, to the whole concept of the HMO. I think there was talk about it. We were starting to do that, and I thought to myself, the community is not going to handle this. The community is going to protest about this. And I was wrong. We finally, went to HMO, and I found it to be the whole process of the HMOs. It lost a little bit of its personalization with patients. It became more business-like, and so I was kind of disheartened with that, because that's not why I went to become a nurse practitioner. I wanted to work with the community. But First Choice at that time was the only place that was providing health care, and they had different clinics throughout the city, so I think which made access much easier for many people. And being from the North Valley, I saw so many people that I grew up with. I see many people now that come here that used to be my patients back at First Choice. So it's a cycle, and I think what's really important about community health care is that, first of all, it is in the community. That there are people that understand the community concept and how to work with people from the community, how to work with people who don't have insurance, how to have some kind of a plan for people to pay if they don't have money up front. And I know that First Choice has been that community for a long time, until Casa de Salud came along. And Casa de Salud is this great program that we started, Andrew and myself started in 2004, in a little community, a little casita, a few blocks away from here. And we, in 2000, we moved to this location at 1608 Isleta because there were so many people coming to our clinic. The difference with this clinic is, though, that we provide not only family health care, urgent care, but also women's health care. But also we have an integrative approach where we have acupuncture, Reiki, we have healing groups for people with addictions. We have many different alternatives. The difference with Casa de Salud is that we do have a different approach to medicine. Besides the allopathic medicine, we also have traditional healing work, which includes acupuncture, which includes a Japanese method called Reiki, which includes AcuDetox, which is a form of acupuncture that helps people going through withdrawals with certain kinds of addictions. We have healing circles where we have meditation and we do deep breathing exercises, and we give people tools to take home with them so that they can practice these methods. My voice is going, excuse me, so they can practice these methods when they're at home. Besides family practice, we also have acute care for people who choose not to go to the hospital. Many of these people, patients who come to our clinic, would have gone to the emergency room and waited 12 to 24 hours, where here they may have to wait 1 or 2 hours. So it's you know, what's really nice too is we're down the street from the South Valley Clinic, and I think all the other clinics right now know about us, and they're overbooked with patients, and so they send patients to us. So we see lots of first choice patients, and we do this kind of little continuity of care. We provide them with medications. If we find somebody that is, you know, having an emergency, we can call the docs or the clinicians over there and try to get them in the next day with their clinician. So I think it's important for there to be clinics such as First Choice and also other clinics like us. And there's another, we're now becoming like First Choice. We're becoming overbooked and overloaded. We saw over 13,000 visits last year, and now we're sending to other clinics that are starting out in the community. So it's nice to have those clinics to send people to.
Do you feel like they're complementing each other, or Casa de Salud is meeting needs that First Choice wasn't, and now by working together and communicating, more of the need can be met?
I definitely think that we are working together. I don't think that we are, you know, that we're competing. This is, you know, we're really helping the needs of the patients because I know First Choice is overloaded. And one of the things that I really think is unique about us is that we have clinicians here that really want to make a difference in people's lives. We do a lot of preventative care. We have a garden every summer that grows you know, healthy vegetables and foods, and then we in turn give diabetic classes to our patients and make food from our garden, and that's a huge difference. You know, this clinic has beautiful colors. We don't have a TV going on in the waiting room. We have people actually talking to each other, and it's kind of a little neighborhood get-together place sometimes. So another thing is we have a tattoo removal project that removes tattoos of gang members that were former gang members. So we have that, and then we have evening hours and Saturday hours for people who work. Like I said, acupuncture 3 days a week. We do the healing circles now. We're doing them 4 days a week, and I think people really like that. What people have told me and other clinicians, that it really feels good for us not to be in such a hurry, that we don't see patients in 10 or 15 minutes like many other places do. I think we're a continuity of care clinic, but we also do a lot of TLC. We give a lot of TLC to our patients, and I think that's really something that I wish more clinics could give to the patients.
We heard that some of the nurse practitioners and community health workers in the early days go pick up patients, convince them to come in, and then the initial workup would be an hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well,
you know, all in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the whole family come with them.
Oh yeah, and I think that's another thing that's happening here too. Sometimes we have 4 or 5 members of the family that come into our room. All the people here are bilingual. All the students. Oh, that's another thing that we do too. We prepare students who are going into the medical field or the social work field. And I think we've probably sent about 10 students that have been accepted into medical school. We have a former kind of a clinical coordinator student that is now at PA school. We have people that are nursing students that have come from here, and we've been able to mentor them and also partner with CNM and UNM so that they can do part of their work study here, and that's how we save costs. And at the same time, when they're helping us with procedures, we're teaching them basic functions of a clinic and how to take care of patients. Yeah, so we're kind of like, we are the former first choice or centro familiar, because I think this is what they would have looked like before. And really, it has the place I first went to in the North Valley was older, but it was comfortable. And I think that's what's really nice about this place. Everybody tells me, and other people, that's very welcoming. They're not asked at the front desk if they have insurance, or they don't ask if they're citizens. They don't ask if they, if they have money up front. They don't have to pay money up front. We will see people whether they have money or not. We have like a 93% payment of all of our patients, which is not bad. For those other people that can't afford it, they still are being seen. And so when we get donations or when we get some kind of grants, we eventually get paid back. Our charges are very reasonable, much like First Choice. So I think it's very important that two gel together, they work well together. It's not a competitive force. So.
And you've attracted providers who choose to work here and don't require the same salary that they might demand.
No, we don't require the same salary. We don't have the same salary, but there's something very fulfilling about providing health care to people who really need it. Providing that right to people.
Today I had lunch with Tony Monfiletto, and now he said Casa de Salud is advising him on how to start a healthcare high school. So you're going younger and younger.
We are. We have a clinic at RFK. I go there on Thursdays, and we have a clinic with really high-risk students, who it's kind of a last chance place for people to go to high school, and we're doing some incredible work there. We're doing acupuncture there too, and we're doing AcuDetox there. We're doing meditation with the students who have really difficult lives, very, very difficult lives. And they're responding, and they like it, and they're realizing that there's other tools that they can use, to, besides using drugs or besides using anger as a way out. They're learning how to meditate. They're using acupuncture, AcuDetox, so.
When I think of alternative medicines and alternative approaches, I think of, maybe it's a 70s term, yuppie. But what I see in your lobby is an immigrant population.
Oh.
Whenever I've been here.
Well, we have some. We also have yuppies. Okay. We have people. We have a very high immigrant population. We have people who have insurance who would prefer to come here because the pay here is $40, and many of them have $25, $35, $40 co-payments, which ends up this, very similar. Our lab prices are very reasonable, and many of them say they like the relationship they have with their clinicians here. they would prefer to come here, and they want to support us. They want to support what we stand for in this community.
Well, what about the immigrant population?
What about the immigrant population?
Well, was in part the founding of this clinic a response to some unmet needs with respect to the immigrant?
I think yes, I believe it was, but I think it's also unmet needs for uninsured people in general, you know, and a big portion of the uninsured people are immigrants. And, you know, right now what's happening with the immigrants is many of them have lost their jobs, or they're, you know, because of the construction industry. Many of them are just getting by, and so they have a comfort in coming here knowing that you know, yeah, we can make payments, you know, we will be willing to work with you. We don't have the overhead costs that many of the bigger, you know, places have. So, yeah, we do have a big immigrant population here.
Was that true of the early clinics, low overhead, and the ability to address needs that...
I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, if you think back in the 70s, in the 80s, what was the immigrant population back then? No, I mean,
not necessarily immigrant, but...
Well, the first budget was $300,000, so...
For first choice. For Centro Familia, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that was probably bigger than the first budget for Casa de Salud.
Yeah, Casa de Salud, yeah. So we've grown, yeah, we've grown a lot. But to answer your question, would you repeat that again?
Do you think that you have that in common with some of the early clinics in the 70s, in the sense that you share a low overhead?
Oh.
I mean, you can offer services that, because of low overhead, that at a larger establishment.
Yes, I think that's true, but that was that initially, yes, but our overhead now is becoming larger because we have more clinicians, we have more students, we have, you know, we need to hire other people to keep this place going. So we're having to charge a little bit more money than what we used to. You know, we don't want to, but you know, we just have to keep this place going. We initially started with $25 per visit. We are now at $40 per visit. So it's gone up, but I think we're still very reasonable in comparison to other places.
And then you can mention the medical debt. You guys saved $1 million.
Yes, a part of our program also has a group by the name of Pathways, which is one of many pathway groups, and the focus of that is for us anyway, is to help people with their medical debt. Many of our patients have to go to the emergency room sometimes for emergency care, and our Pathways group, you know, they have been able to help people with, in the last, 3 to 4 years, with writing off $1 million for many of our patients. And part of that is they just don't know how to maneuver the system to get to a place, how to go to different places in this huge bureaucracy that many of the hospitals have. It's too difficult to maneuver. Many of them don't speak English. So we have bilingual people that can help, and we have some Spanish-speaking people that can help them maneuver their way up and teach them how to do that. So that's another part of what our program is that I think other places don't have.